Hey everyone, this is Paul, and today we have our special guest with us, Laura Patterson. She is the president of Vision Edge Marketing INC. So, welcome, Laura, to this interview, and I would like to thank you for your time. So, if you can just go ahead and tell me something about yourself to my viewers, please.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks for having me. Really excited to be a part of the Xfinity Solution Program. Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Patterson with Vision Edge Marketing, and we are a data analytics process and measurement company that helps our customers use those capabilities to accelerate their growth, create more customer value, and improve performance.
All right, so there'll be a lot of learning from Laura today. So a little bit about myself, Laura. My name is Paul. I've been working in Xfinity Solution as a program manager for about 3 years now. Since the inception of Xfinity Solution was incorporated in the year of 2017, and since then we have been operating. We have been serving to US and Canadian clients. Mostly we work in IT and ITES service space, and we do provide virtual assistant service as well to small and medium business owners. So this is about Xfinity Solution, and now let me tell you the objective of this survey. We have been interviewing business owners and professionals across industries to understand how, through their leadership skills, are combating this situation which we are in right now. We are in sort of a doldrum situation, and what are the strategies they are implementing to fight this, and what do they think the government and the big business houses should implement, or strategies should implement to come out of this economic downturn. So we have got a stupendous response from several brands and corporates, and we are looking forward to learn something from you as well. So
Awesome.
so this is it. So if you are ready, I'll start asking you the questions.
Yay, let's do it.
Thank you. So, Laura, my first question to you would be, have you ever faced any such time as this before? Emotionally or professionally, whatever. I mean,
yes.
Have you ever faced?
So I've been around a while. So I've been through a number of ups and downs, and our company is 21 years old. So we started in 1991. So for those of us who remember 9/11 and the dot-com bust, it was horrific, right? It was a horrific situation, and it brought a lot of things to a standstill, and it forced our company to have to pivot. We're an Austin-based company. We had mostly Austin customers. We had a very strong technology focus. Austin is very technology focused. My background is in technology and financial services and healthcare, all of which were affected. And so we really had to scramble to figure out what we were going to do. And of course, we felt the next hit in the 2008-2009 downturn that hit everyone. So we've been through a few rocky times, and we've always managed to be able to get through it. And mostly that is because of our customers. We are so blessed and so privileged to have remarkable companies that we work with, and we couldn't have done it without them.
All right. So obviously there was a lot of learning during that times, which you are probably learn and you're implementing those sort of strategies during this time as well. That's great to know. And obviously, if you have a strong customer base, you can fight any situation, no matter what comes in your way. That's great. So my next question would be to you: is your business seriously affected by this pandemic?
So that is a good question, and it's kind of a multifaceted answer. So give me just a couple minutes to try to articulate this. So one of the things we did as a result of the last two scenarios is each time we have learned how to be leaner and more focused, right? As well at the same time to look and pivot. So in that first example or situation of 9/11 and the dot-com bust, the first thing we did was get very scrappy in terms of how much overhead, right? We had a lot of overhead. I wouldn't say we were fat, but we had gotten, in those 2 years, we thought we needed all the things that we had in terms of infrastructure. We learned very quickly that we didn't need all those things. So we got very lean, but we also pivoted. We realized that we couldn't just live on Austin. We would not survive. Because Austin companies were shutting down right and left. And I'd already seen that happen once before in Austin. I'd already been through horrific downturn in Austin was really very Austin specific in the mid 80s, where every other home had been foreclosed on, buildings that had been started didn't get started, other buildings were boarded up. It was a horrible time. So this was not my first rodeo, which was helpful. So we pivoted into some additional industries and different parts of the country and began to do more global work. In the second time around, obviously the second recession, we were very fortunate because we become much more established, and we were very well known in a particular space that today is still a very strong part of our capability, which we had started as a data and analytics measurement process company. And when we started then in 1999, most of the time people looked at us like we were speaking a foreign language. But by the time 2008 to 2009 rolled around, 10 years later, that wasn't a foreign language anymore. So the fact that we held on to that and didn't try to jettison it because it wasn't popular or trendy allowed us to survive that next wave of downturns. So there's a couple lessons there I want to share, right? One was where can you get lean, right? What can you jettison that you really don't need? And I'm not talking about people, I'm talking about stuff. And two is, where really is your base? What is it, sometimes it helps to stay the course. So that brings us to today. We have stayed the course. We have made some modifications, and I'll talk about that. But we've been really fortunate. We're going to have a better year this year than we had last year. And we're already ahead of last year's year today. And again, that's due to our customers. I think it's also staying true to our course, but it's also a result of companies realizing that they need more strategy. So we were struggling the last couple of years as people got very, very tactical and focused on digital. Like, let's do more digital. Well, digital is a channel, right? Or let's go do a website or whatever it was. And they really had not done a whole lot in strategy. So the fact that we stayed, again, true north to strategy and didn't jettison our roots and try to just get to a trend, whatever that trend was, content, influencer, whatever it was, and stuck to what we do really, really well, all of a sudden those people flock back to us because they realize, hey, we need to start thinking about strategy again.
Yeah.
And so that's, I hope I'm answering your question. I know I'm a little long-winded.
Absolutely. No.
Maybe something for people to think about.
Oh, that's great. That's a lot of learning. I mean, obviously you have learned from your experience, and you've strategized things, and you've understood that what is needed at that point of time where other businesses were shutting down, and you went out of Austin and went global. So these are very important learning from you for my viewers. So that's good. So you've probably already talked about the challenges, and I'm going to come to that next in my next question. So obviously we see challenges, right? So do you see challenges in future, and how are you prepared for those challenges?
That's a good question, but so one of the things obviously is we are paying attention to the challenges our customers and the market face, right? This is one of the things we do. Why do some people succeed and others don't, even if they're in the same industry? And then there are certain situations where industries just do well because of the circumstances, right?
All right. Yeah.
So for example, right now, think about cybersecurity and what's going on in the space of cybersecurity when it comes to technology. And it's anyone that's in the cybersecurity space is probably holding their own for the most part if they're doing a good job, because it doesn't matter what kind of company you are, you have to be thinking about that, right? You have to be thinking about it because it's a rising challenge and problem for all of us. Absolutely. And so that's an industry that's doing well. The real challenge they have is how do they differentiate themselves from each other? So now that's a real strategic question. So I think differentiation is becoming a bigger issue for many companies and think about SaaS companies, how easy it is to replicate and copy each other, right? So how do we, again, differentiation? I think that's going to continue to be a challenge. And remote, right? All this remoteness, what does that do for innovation? Because for companies, in order to continue to grow, they need to be thinking about innovation, paying attention to what's going on in their market and what their customers are doing. But it's much harder to innovate this way than when you're in a space together and you're being very collaborative. There's an organic aspect to innovation that doesn't necessarily work by let's jump on a Zoom call and be innovative, right? And that takes us back to understanding our customers. I think even though we're doing these kinds of meetings with customers and other things, it's not the same thing as really being able to get good input from customers. It's just a different kind of process. So I think companies are going to be challenged with customer insights, even though they're talking about data and analytics and all the data that they're collecting from their social media and every other digital platform that they're involved in. So doing research better, really, whether that's competitive intelligence, customer insights, customer research, those kinds of things I think are going to become more important. So I think those are a couple of things that we too have to think about, but we see our customers having to deal with. So differentiation, strategy, getting better insights from their data, customer interactions, innovation, those kinds of things.
All right. So yeah, so these are the challenges you see in future, and you need to be well prepared for this. So if you want to succeed, or if you want to keep your growth intact. All right. That's again a good learning for my viewers. My next question, it's not a question, rather it's more like a statement, and I just need to understand your view on this. Probably you've already talked about it, but a little more I want to know. Like, industries connected to IT domain operations directly or indirectly have sustained or have managed to sustain this pandemic. So do you believe in this, and what's your take on that?
Well, I think that we are all dependent on technology, right? And IT is a very important part of every company today. I mean, and many companies are going through various technology transformations, right? So I don't see that changing anytime in the near future. In fact, I think the bigger changes will be what kind of IT and technology can we expect as artificial intelligence, machine learning come online, right? I think those are going to have implications to the world of IT and technology and development. You can already see it in chatbots, for example, if you want to look to an example in the IT domain. But it's not the only example. We can see it happening in just how people submit resumes for a new job. All of that is now pretty much AI or something, machine learning. There's not a human being looking at those resumes anymore. So I think the real question then is, how do we continue to have the human experience, the human interaction that is so important in any business, right? I mean, I'm not a robot. Paul, you're not a robot. We're having a conversation. This will be a very different conversation between two robots, or if I was talking to a robot, right? So I think the challenge will be for where does the human part come in? So here we are, we're all doing right now. For months when we couldn't get out, we were all doing everything online. That meant we were buying everything online, maybe with the exception of an occasional outing to the grocery store. But think about everything going on online and how much of that has now become automated, how much of that is done through AI, the IT behind all of that e-commerce, correct? So I think there's a lot of implications, and we're going to see more and more. So where's the human interaction? Because today, if you call up and say, or you go onto the chat and you ask, where's my order, or can I change my order, or can I cancel my order? You're not talking to a person hardly anymore.
Absolutely. And especially this, I don't know whether it is there in Austin, because there's some part of United States is seeing that the drone technology, which is delivering the packages, probably this Amazon is using this drone technology to deliver the packages. So that is something which is again something which is really great. I mean, IT is something which is going to be more innovative in future, and we're going to see a lot of innovations in that space. Great. So my next question will be it's more on a macro level question. Like, I need to understand your view on this. So how do you see the economy in near future, economy of United States as well as of the whole world in near future?
Well, it's going to be a very interesting November.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate to date your video, but we're sitting here at the end of September, and in the United States, there is a lot going on because we're in an election year. Yeah. So, how the U.S. economy will fare is going to have. There are probably so I'm no spring chicken. I was just talking to my husband about how many elections I have been able to participate in. And I think this is probably one of the most important elections of my lifetime, without a doubt.
No doubt
And
about
I think it has serious implications to the economy. Um, and I would hate to see the great American experiment falter, because I think it has allowed many people to flourish, to have new opportunities. We're not a class-based system in the sense that because you're born into this one situation, you're stuck here forever, right? That's the whole point. I mean, I think about my own personal life. I know I came from the other side of the tracks, as we like to say, in America, and I feel blessed every day that I am living in where I live and have what I have, which might not have ever been possible except for this country. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. I wish I had a crystal ball, because if I had a crystal ball, I could get rich like right now. But
yeah.
I'm hopeful. I am hopeful that we will have a solid economic year in 2021, but it is very contingent upon this election, what that looks
Absolutely. So you're saying the election plays an important role in Americans' economic future, or you can say that is the most important part, the kind of things which is happening in around, like along with this pandemic, and there are other things that are happening as well in USA. So that is going to play a very important role.
Yeah, I'm only a second generation American, so unlike maybe others that you've talked to, so I have only, I mean, I knew very close to my grandparents who are all from another country, right? So I have a different maybe point of view, and all of them were escaping horrific places with horrific economies. So I hope that their efforts and everything they went through to make a better life for their children, and my parents' effort to make a better life for their children, I hope that we will be able to continue that for the foreseeable future.
Of course, let's hope for the best. As you said, that we might see a better economic future in 2021. So let's hope for the best for that. Yeah. So my next question to you, or it's again like not a question, rather I would like to ask you how your company can help my viewers during this testing, or how your company is helping your clients during this testing time to get to their goal and achieving whatever their business goal is. So can you just tell me about that a little bit?
So we've always focused our customers on paying attention to their customers, how to be more customer centric, because without customers, there's no business, right? Especially in a capitalistic economy, you have to have customers. There's no other way. So how do you do that? Whether you're an early stage company, how do you get those customers? And then how do you keep them? How do you grow the value of those customers? And that means really paying attention to what is, and anticipating what they're going to need in order to succeed. We try to do that with our customers too, by saying, hey, have you thought about this particular trend? Do you see what your competitors are doing or not doing that maybe be an opportunity for you? What are you doing to really understand your customers more deeply, either how they buy or what they need? So these are the kinds of things we do. We help our customers know what are the right questions to ask in order to succeed and grow, and how to go get the answers to those questions. Right. That's really what we're all about. We're not a company that's going to make your next website, although what we do is certainly going to impact what your next website looks like. We're not a company that's going to make your next digital ad or email campaign. But if you don't have the value proposition, positioning, and message map for those things, and an actual marketing plan that is customer-centric and measurable, you're never going to know whether you implemented the right things and whether the things that you implemented worked or not, didn't work. So, and why. That's really what we help our customers figure out, so they can do better every single turn.
Oh, that's great to know. I mean, this is really going to be helpful for my viewers, and my viewers, if you really need any of the services which Laura is talking about, you can always reach to Laura. I'm going to share her details and company details along with this video, so you can always reach out to her. So Laura, it's great to know about your company, And my next question, or it's not a question again, it's a study. We've done a study since, as I already told you, we are a virtual assistant service provider. So we have done a study on this, especially during this testing time. So it says, a study says that keeping a remote executive assistant during this time can save your time and money and can help you grow your business faster than ever. It is like, keeping a team or hiring a team at a price of a fractional employee. So what's your take on this? What do you think about it?
So I wish I had one. Right now, none of us have that. We don't have that. That is actually one of the things, obviously, that first go around that we got rid of. And in Austin, you used to have receptionists at the front desk. And then when you got there in Austin during that first downturn, you walked in and there was no one at the front desk. There was a phone that said, "Call this number if you need help," right? So, right. And now there's no front desk because there's nobody in an office. And I think that has its implications. A lot of people have taken phone numbers off their websites. People can't find anyone to help them, right? So you go online, you fill out a contact us form or a chat or whatnot. So I think having a virtual assistant would be a blessing. And if people have the resources to have one, anything you can do to improve the interaction between you, your suppliers, your customers, and others, your employees, is a positive thing, right? It's all a moment of truth. And so if you can't manage those interactions and do them in a positive way, then I think that's a challenge that will eventually be costly beyond the expense of an assistant. So I think the question is, how many human interactions do you need to have? And can you manage those with your current resources? And if not, get help, because that's, again, really important.
All right, yeah, so because we have been getting this sort of answers and this sort of views from different business owners here. They're saying that we have only 24 hours time with us, and we sometimes we really feel that we need someone who can shadow us. But that is very important. So as a company, Virtual Assistant, my customers are also feeling very blessed during this time, because they have to do a lot of things at the front line. At the back end, we are there to help them out, and it is like you're getting a support from a whole team. So whenever you need, we are there to help you. If you need any help with the IT services, if you need any help with the accounting, management, administrative, there is a team and there is a person who can help you out at your back end. So you don't have to worry. So you can give more focus or more time to your frontline business. So this is where we play a very important role. And obviously you're right on this. So that's it, Laura. Thank you for your time. And this was really insightful and educative. And your views will really add a lot of values to our survey. And obviously I'm going to run this survey for about a couple of weeks more, or to a month. And once the survey is over, I'm going to share with you the survey report, where you will come to know what other business owners are thinking about the same questions. So this way we can learn from each other and we can grow, and we can come out of this situation,
Yeah, I think people have gotten very, very comfortable with outsourcing various activities. So I'm sure that people are reaching out to you for your help. Again, a lot of that used to be under the roof, and today we are very comfortable with leveraging people. It used to be okay that we want them to be local, but I think people have gotten comfortable they're looking for the best resources regardless of where they're located. So I hope that that's working well for you.
Yes, Laura, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So I'm like, that's great to know. That's it. Thanks for your time. All the best for your future. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.